Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, but I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're going to talk about a pretty fantastic episode. Kind of a weird episode of Dynamite in some parts. But by and large, pretty damn fun. Episode of AEW.
You know, if you look at it from a purely wrestling perspective, not a whole lot to quibble with here. From in terms of in-ring action, it was a really good episode of AEW Dynamite. As far as story stuff, a few little things. It seems like we might finally have the name of this William Regal, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson faction at the end of his promo following their win over the Pillmans. Jon Moxley seemingly dubbed the trio the Blackpool Combat Club.
So it's pretty wordy. It's pretty mouthy. The Blackpool Combat Club.
It's going to sound great when Regal says it. I'll tell you what, though.
Oh, yeah. It'll sound terrific. Everything he says sounds terrific.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And he was essentially issuing their recruitment message. Hey, if you want to join, come on in, but you got to go down to a place full of pain to earn your badge of honor and join up with the Blackpool Combat Club.
Did Wheeler Yuta jump the gun last week? Should he have waited for their recruitment message to open the doors here?
You know what? This is perhaps the most pointed recruitment message, but it's not necessarily a new one.
Yeah,
I think, over the last couple weeks, ever since Regal showed up at Revolution, they've been pretty clear, even since before that, when Mox says, hey, Danielson, if you want to be friends, we got to bleed together. That is kind of, in one phrase, the catch-all of what this is all about. You want to join up? We got to go do violence on each other, We got to beat each other up. We got to bleed together. And then you got to show me what you're made of, and then if I think you pass muster, welcome.
Yeah, that could be. We also got, there was some, speaking of Wheeler Yuta, a little bit of dysfunction there in the best friends. Trent just coming out. We all saw it. We all knew it.
He never fist bumped Wheeler. Never
from
did.
The second he got back from injury.
Never did.
Did not like this Wheeler Yuta guy. And Wheeler's like, hey, man, I'm trying to better myself by joining the BCC, Blackpool Clobbering Club.
Combat Club.
Yeah, that too. So that's good. Now you have a theory about, let's talk about the title scene, because a couple of signifiers tonight, there's a line at this point of people seemingly chomping at the bit to get to Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
Now some are more obvious than others. Let's start with the obvious one. The next in line is going to be just a rematch with Adam Cole.
Seemingly.
Probably not at a pay-per-view.
No. It'll probably be on episode of Dynamite. Or is there another edition of Battle of the Belts coming up soon? Maybe they'll do it on that show.
That's a possibility. Battle of the Belts, or they'll do like a special theme. I don't know what's coming up. April, they have like a tax day themed episode.
Oh, maybe.
That'd be cool. What would you call a tax day themed episode? Fight for the File. How's that?
Not good.
That's horrible.
Not good. File Fest. There you go.
That's even worse, maybe. So next in line, obviously, going to be Adam Cole. He's going to lose. Yeah. Next in line is going to be one of two guys, I think.
Chris Jericho.
CM Punk also made, as you put in your notes here, the universal sign for
I want title shot. Or I want
that title shot. He beat MJF. He beat tonight a huge opponent in Dax.
Hell of a match, too.
Oh, dude, those FTR guys.
Sorry, specificity is dead. Might have it. Graps for the tax.
That's horrible. Files and deliver? That's terrible. These are all awful. Tax that ass? Tax that ass? What are you guys doing today?
All right, let's get back on track. Come on.
Okay. So you seem to think it's going to be Jericho at Double or Nothing. Why would you say that as opposed to like Punk?
Jericho makes a lot of sense. They're building up as a heel again. 3 years ago, he and Hangman wrestled in the first match ever for the AEW Championship. It's a good win for Page. I think the one of the reasons that they probably had Dark Order members John Silver and Alex Reynolds wrestle Jericho Appreciation Society tonight is because of their ties to Page. I feel like they're laying the groundwork now, and then I don't know, probably like in a month's time, roughly, they'll really start moving with that. That's just my supposition.
Yeah, maybe. They like their symmetry. They like their full circle stuff.
They like calling back to older stuff. Yes, all that.
Yeah, Jericho at Double or Nothing. That sounds like a pretty good idea. It'll be interesting where that's in May. It's
May. It's a couple months from now.
It's probably close to like 6 weeks from now because it's at the beginning of May, isn't it?
No, it's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, that's right, end of May. It seems like regardless, he's got a couple of opponents, big name guys lined up, probably to take him through the summertime.
Now, if Punk's going to get a title shot, there is another pay-per-view coming up that emanates from Chicago, Illinois. It's not till September though.
Yeah, all out. Yeah, you think anyway he's doing this thing now, and he's gonna have to wait till September?
Keeps getting sidetracked with stuff, maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of side. Well, when you get to his age, as we know, you get sidetracked with side missions all the time. It's like, oh god, there's no toilet paper. Now I got to run to the store and get that. Get back from the store, realize
out of milk. Got to go back get milk.
Out of milk. How are we gonna have cereal?
You're on your way home. Your check oil light comes on. Got to go get an oil change.
That really should be CM Punk's story.
You come back.
They just leave the arena and he's
gone for 4 months doing errands. Yeah.
Yeah, midlife errands. Exactly. Yeah, that'd be good. We found out that the TNT title for a spell evidently was being used as a sex toy of some sort.
And Ty Conti put some photographic evidence on Twitter seemingly to back that up somewhat.
Back that up is correct.
Yeah.
Seems like they backed it up on that title.
So, of course, Scorpio Sky gave Dan Lambert one of the TNT titles. He dubbed them co-TNT champions. And so at the end of the promo tonight, he kissed it. And then Ty and Sammy says, hey, we're living in your head. But, now after that we've spent some time with the TNT title, we're living in your mouth too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Dan Lambert went tonight. ATM.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially.
They didn't really specify.
They didn't specify what kind of activities they were engaging in with title. But I guess that you got to consider that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We'll dive into that more on Friendo Club TV. Top 10 sex acts that could have been done with a TNT title. Go sub to Friendo Club TV.
There you go.
That one will do 60,000, man. Maybe 69,000 even. Anyways, let's just go ahead and dive right into this. Kicked off with just terrific wrestling. CM Punk versus Dax Harwood.
Great match.
I like your note here. Why is the Gun Club sitting ringside? Maybe so Austin Gunn can figure out how to do a Lothez press and not knock himself out.
Well, it's funny because they had a wide shot. Maybe it was a wide shot. Maybe the shot in that back corner, the back left corner from hard cam. Mm-hmm. And just you see somebody with no shirt on kind of peek in like this to lean in the frame. And I'm like, who is that jackass ruining the show for somebody? Oh, that's Colton Gunn.
I can't stand when they do that. This time it's Colton.
That jackass is Colton Gunn. And
it's funny because I was watching on my little monitor here, and I was like, that dude's face looks like Colton Gunn, but it looks like he was wearing a George Michael from Arrested Development strongman suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know he's a big jack dude, but just the lighting made it look like it was a fake muscle suit. And so I was like, is that actually him or just a guy who looks remarkably like him wearing a George Michael Arrested Development muscle suit?
Another source of confusion was like, isn't FTR, didn't they get back into a thing with Young Bucks already?
Oh, yeah, that was supposed to be a thing, right?
Yeah, but again, sidetracked.
Side missions, they're up there in age. They're probably like mid-30s, late 30s at this point, but they look like they're in their mid-40s.
Yeah.
Like they carry themselves their theme song, which is terrific.
Fantastic.
But it's like, reference to, they love the 80s stuff.
They love 80s wrestling. Yeah, and I guess.
Yeah. It's like, how old are you guys? Come on, what do you know about the 80s?
Probably.
Come on now. All right, let's take a break here to get a word in from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So, Larson.
Yes, Steve.
I'm sure you know that relationships can take a lot of work. Many of us will drop everything and go out of our way to help someone we care about. But how often do we give ourselves that same treatment?
Yeah, several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned firsthand how important it is to take care of the most important relationship we all have in our lives, the one we have with ourselves. So I started the process of looking for a therapist. But while looking for a therapist, I also learned that it could be extremely difficult to find someone I was comfortable talking to. BetterHelp's online therapy has made that process of finding a therapist more convenient by offering video, phone, and even live chat therapy sessions, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Remember that you are your greatest asset, so invest as much time in yourself as you do the others in your life. Check out our sponsor, BetterHelp, and right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw.
That's BETTERHELP.com/raw. Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Lumen. Hey, Steve. Let's talk skincare.
Okay.
So I'm sure a lot of friendos out there are once like me. Your skincare routine probably consisted of washing your face with the same body wash or soap that you use on the rest of your body, and you probably thought, hey, this is good enough. Well, I've got some bad news. That body wash or soap you've been using all these years is damaging your skin.
Yeah, man, that's right. But with Lumen, you can drop that bottle of 3-in-1 and start using products that actually take care of your skin. Lumen's products aim to help those with stubborn acne scars, under-eye dark circles, wrinkles, sun damage, dry skin, and oily skin. And getting started is easy. All you got to do is take the 2-minute quiz on their website, and they'll tell you which skincare routine is best suited for your needs.
Yeah, I took the quiz, and I got the Anti-Fatigue Essential Set to help with these dark circles I keep getting under my eyes. And with Lumen, I know I'm getting high-quality products made with natural ingredients like licorice root extract, rose flower oil, charcoal powder, ginger, and green tea.
So level up your skincare game with Lumen Skin today. Go to lumenskin.com/raw to get your free trial of Lumen's products.
That's LUMIN skin.com/raw to get your free trial of Lumen's products. lumenskin.com/raw. So this is a really great match. Dax, from early on, working over Punk's lower back. At one point, he gets distracted by a gun club. That allows Punk an opportunity to make a comeback. Dax puts that in pretty quick. Again, it's a really great match. Some quality storytelling. It takes Dax a couple of tries to get a sharpshooter on. Finally does. Punk fights free of that and then transitions to an Anaconda device. And Dax has to tap. And afterward, Punk does the universal sign for give me title shot or give me title.
Or it's the discount double check. One of them. We're not really sure.
Well, I mean, that was because Aaron Rodgers used to do that motion after he'd score a touchdown because, I'm the champ,
Right. Yeah. But then it became the discount double check.
Yeah, but
hey, Rodgers!
The origins of that was universal
discount double check.
Universal sign for championship.
Universal
State
sign
Farm
for
usurped it.
Yeah, right. Well, it's theirs now. Let's see here. Jericho had a promo after that.
This is one of the rare times he stumbled during a promo.
Yeah, he sort of lost himself. Did you get to the King of the Ring 96 thing, which by the way is going to be dropping Wednesday
next
now.
Wednesday? Yeah.
Did you get to Billy Gunn's promo?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's great. I watched it 5 times.
Manager.
It's the most Dirk Diggler thing. She's an award winner. Manager.
I think he goes award-winning manager. I think there's an audible
and then he just smiled really broadly.
I know.
Anyways, so there's a pic that they threw up of him. And so all these AEW wrestlers, they all have one thing in common. They're all big old nerds who did meet and greets with wrestlers 15 years ago. John Silver was no different, although this might have been 10 years ago. And he got a picture with him and Jericho. So he talked about that picture. That would be amazing if Jericho ended up getting a match at Double or Nothing because of a picture John Silver took with him 15 years ago. So he says now Silver gets to have a match against the influencer. Being in the ring with me puts him on a different level, but not on my level. Garcia says, yeah, we beat up pro wrestlers because we're sports entertainers, just like me. And he says, and then Jericho says, we're going to future endeavor Silver and Reynolds, just like we did those sons of bitches, Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. He says they wouldn't dare show their faces around.
And he had 2.0, or sorry, they're not 2.0 anymore. Like peeking back behind the curtain.
Yeah.
In the little interview area to try to look for him.
Yeah. Daddy Magic, right?
Yeah. After that, we had a 8-man tornado tag team action. This match was insane. Sting, Darby Allin, and the Hardys taking on Private Party, Butcher, and Blade. This match went all over the place.
They could do this shit I am so glad they basically ran this back from, what was it, Revolution or whatever, because this was so much fun. Sting almost immediately goes to the top turnbuckle, does a splash from there to the floor on top of like whoever in
Blade
AFL.
And Private Party, yeah.
Yeah, oh man. So that was terrific.
Things really start kicking into notch. Butcher and Blade brawl with Darby up into the crowd. They eventually get to like the vomitorium area, the entrance into the concourse. Andrade comes up and blasts Darby with something.
Yeah.
And then Butcher gets Darby up in powerbomb position and starts swinging him around into the walls of the entrance. And then there's stairs there, kind of gently powerbombs them onto the stairs as Darby rolls to the concourse.
Yeah.
And so we cut away from there. Private Party is beating up Matt Hardy on the ramp. Eventually, Hardy makes a comeback, looks for a side effect on Isaiah Cassidy off the stage. However, Mark Quinn hits Matt with a low blow. Private Party hit Matt with the side effect off the stage. We go back to the concourse. By that point, Darby, Sting, and Jeff Hardy have been brawling with Butcher and the Blade. There's some tables there. They put Butcher and Blade on the tables. Jeff gets a humongous ladder, sets it up near the wall, climbs to the very top, and there's a little ledge that's maybe, 12 feet high.
Yeah, dude.
That he steps on and kind of shimmies closer to the table, swanton, to put Butcher and Blade to the table.
This was amazing. It was terrifying.
It was all those things. It was great.
Yeah.
Then Private Party, they're bringing Matt back to the ring. Sting, he was up in the concourse. He starts walking back through the crowd. They eventually meet in the ring. Sting uses a second rope to hit Isaiah Cassidy in the front area. Isaiah comes to hit Sting with a chair. Sting completely no-sells. Hits a bunch of splashes on Private Party. Mark Quinn evade one. They're going for gin and juice. And Isaiah Cassidy, when he's going for the cutter, Sting catches him. Kind of stumbles a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to just go seamlessly.
Yeah, right to the Scorpion Death Drop. Yeah. Kind of stumbles, falls. They had a little bit of an issue getting back up into position, but it allows Matt Hardy to kind of come to from all the other stuff. So he hits a twist of fate right when Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop. They get the win.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun. Really terrific stuff. Yeah, this is man, my goodness. What a great way to.
The first hour of
kick off Dynamite, but God, it didn't even kick it off.
The first hour of Dynamite was just packed with awesome wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. FTR cut an interview, a little promo. Another great part about it, somebody brought this up in chat, was Tony Schiavone saying, I told Sting when he came back, I forget what the term, it was like a wrestling, he was like, don't catch air or something like that. Oh, man. It was, and he was just like, I told him not to do that. He was, he's not your son there, Tony. After that, we had an FTR interview. They're just sort of talking about the ass boys. He says, you got the ass boys who think they get respect because they're who their dad is. He says, but no, they're still pups in this business. Dax says, there's a portion of the audience that doesn't care for them. And he says, I get it. They've done some nasty things, but 100% of our audience can't say we're spoiled brats. He says, I can't stand spoiled brats. He says, the gun club thinks they can come into our profession, into my spot. He says, we're the best tag team on the planet. So I'm not going to call them ass boys. That's a gimmick name. I'm going to call them Billy's Sons.
Mm-hmm. Then we get Bryan Danielson and Moxley taking on the Pillmans, Bryan Jr. and Griff.
Mm-hmm.
So early on, they showed Julia Hart. Usually she's ringside getting involved in the match, or at least, paying attention. Here she's sitting on the ring steps, back to the ring, just kind of like lost in her own thoughts.
Yeah, it's like me during an episode of Raw.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. So obviously, look, this is the Pillmans, and it's the two most overly booked guys in AEW.
Beat the shit out of him.
Beat the living shit.
Just beat the shit out of him.
It's so much fun to watch.
It really is. It really is. I mean, like, yeah, Pillman's get some of their shit in, but man, they got destroyed. The finish was great. So, like, Mox and Danielson hit a paradigm shift, knee plus, same time. And then while Danielson's doing stomps, Moxley's doing like 12-6 elbows. And they both lock on their submissions. Mox with the choke. Bryan Danielson with the label lock. Pillman's tap. Danielson and Mox win. Regal comes from commentary. Great on commentary, as always.
Awesome.
Comes to the ring. Mox grabs the mic. Says, I'm a very lucky man. I've been fortunate enough to compete against the best in the world and learn from the best in the world, but there's only one man whose opinion I ever cared about, his lordship, William Regal. He says, the seal of approval from Regal is a badge of honor, and it wasn't easy to get. I earned it through pain and blood, so I wear my Blackpool badge of honor with pride. He says, just like my friend, the perfect wrestler, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. They were forged in combat, and like Regal said, if you want to get in the ring with them, you better step up or get stepped on. But if anyone thinks that they have what it takes to ride with the three most sadistic people in the business, they need to reach down and find that place where you love pain. If you need a badge of honor from the Blackpool Combat Club, you need to earn it the hard way.
Ooh, yeah. Do you like pain? Are you a fan of pain?
It's not my favorite thing, no.
Yeah.
I don't like to bleed either.
Yeah, I don't really like to bleed. You know, I mean, sometimes it's kind of cool.
Does it make you feel like a tough guy to bleed, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you know, if all of a sudden you're like, oh, how did this happen? Or, you know, like when Gypsy was a little bit younger, we used to, you know, play fight a bunch more.
Yeah.
She'd just bite my fucking arm.
You see, like,
hey, look at this.
I understand that, but if you're doing something and through your own clumsiness, hurt yourself or make yourself bleed,
dude,
that's the exact opposite. I feel like a fool.
Yeah, no, I know. Again, bringing it back to my dog, I was chasing her around the house one day years ago, and I hit my toe, my little tiny toe, on the little door jamb over there. Split that sumbitch in half. Why did I do that, Steve?
Why did you do that, Steve? Sort of like one time I was hammering a nail, and insteid of hammering a metal nail, I hammered my thumbnail, and all along the top of it burst into this. And I just looked at it and was like, well, that's bad.
Oh, man. Dude, we could be part of the Blackpool Combat Club.
I don't think these are the bona fides that you could use to apply, Steve.
I have a picture of that split toe on my phone. I could show that to Regal right now.
Regal would probably just say, how did you do that, son? And you tell him the story.
My God, man.
And he'd say,
kayfabe.
Disqualified.
Oh, permanently?
Disqualified.
Oh, what
if that's the best of your bona fides, disqualified. Let's take a break here to get a word from our sponsor, Blenders. Fresh from the sandy beaches of San Diego, California, comes the only sunglasses brand I'm ever going to wear again, Steve. I'm talking about Blenders eyewear, and you're going to be just as hooked when you witness how awesome these things are. I got myself a pair of Ice Crush shades. Just the name alone is super cool.
Oh, yeah.
And they're my go-to sunglasses to wear when I'm out on my morning walks or out running errands.
Yeah, man. Blender's team of in-house designers are always coming up with new styles, too, like orange polarized wraparounds, tortoise shell frames with purple lenses, to classic gold arms on black lenses.
And unlike expensive big brand shades, Blenders are actually affordable and still offer the same cool factor as other leading styles, and they've got more than sunglasses. Blenders offers prescription glasses, readers, and blue lights, as well as a snow collection with goggles and accessories. So live life in forward motion with Blenders today.
To score 15% off your Blenders purchase, visit blenderseyewear.com and enter promo code RAWVIP. That's blenderseyewear.com, code RAWVIP for 15% off. Blenders, rocked with pride worldwide. And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from our sponsor, Chime. So, Larson.
Yeah?
We may be almost a third into the new year, but that doesn't mean we can't all still make a change for the better in 2022. And what better way to make a change than by getting yourself a better checking account with no monthly fees?
Yeah, fee-free 2022 sounds great to me, Steve. And with Chime, an award-winning app and debit card, you'll get no overdraft fees, no foreign transaction fees, no monthly fees or service fees. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. It's fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them.
And with over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs, including at most Walgreens, 7-Eleven, and CVS locations, you can get your money when you need it, where you need it.
So make your first good decision of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up only takes 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/raw. That's chime.com/raw.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds. So this got a bit contentious, MJF in this promo in Texas, because... this dude is he talks a lot. Of course, the main topic of conversation was Wardlow.
Yeah.
He says Texas has as many brain cells as teeth. He says that being few. He said, so pipe down a bit. He says it's a shame that Wardlow couldn't get the job done last week, especially because unlike Wardlow, I'm a man of my word. Unlike Wardlow, I honor my business agreements. He says, I told Wardlow if he won the TNT title, he could keep it, and I meant it. He said, that's why I'm sad. That's why it's so sad he couldn't beat Sky. He says, before I go on about Wardlow, I want to talk to Punk. He says, I had you beat at Revolution, just like I had you beat twice in Chicago. Trust me, we're going to do this again one day, and it's going to be the most embarrassing loss of your career. Back to Wardlow. He says, I'm going to start calling you a pig because you're a greedy little pig. He says, when I first met Wardlow a couple years ago, he says, it wasn't for him and the contract that he signed. He says, the fans wouldn't know who he is. He says, I made Wardlow, and thanks to MJF, he's got a beautiful roof over his head that he shares with his mom. And he says, how does he repay me? By costing me the most important match of my life. And then having the audacity to ask me to release him from his deal. He says, Wardlow, you signed a deal with the devil. And all the devil's deals are ironclad. And at this point, things got kind of weird because the crowd started chanting Jesus. But then it turns out I saw on Twitter there was a guy dressed up as Jesus, like in the fourth row, I guess getting a laugh out of the fact that he called himself the devil. And then at the end, I think when Wardlow mentioned like a mark jumping over the barricade, maybe that's what he was referring to, thinking that maybe there was going to be a conversation between Jesus. I don't know. It was weird when people started chanting Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, he says, if you thought you had it bad before, I'm going to make your life a living hell. He says...
So if I tell Wardlow you got to kick your mother out of the house, then you got to do it. I own you now.
Yeah. The idea is that contract is ironclad and you do whatever I say. And that goes into your personal life as well. So Wardlow comes to ringside. He's got a head full of steam, lays into security. But then there's literally 10 guys that have to hold him back. And that's at MJF's behest. He says, you just don't get it. You don't work for AEW. You work for me, and I don't want you around here anymore. You're trespassing, which makes you like all the fans around here, no different than if somebody jumped the barricade. He says, but I'll keep paying you to stay at home until all the fans forget about you, until you end up the same way I found you, a nobody. And then Wardlow's like, hey, back off me, security. And they do. And he walks towards the back. And MJF says, the pinnacle isn't over. He says, contrary to what some rumors say out there, new rumors, it's not the sad last days of the pinnacle. He says, now that Wardlow's out of the way, it's only gotten better. Is he teasing a potential another member of Le Pinnacle?
Entirely possible.
And is his name Brian Cage?
Maybe. That would be a good spot for Cage.
I think it would be. Absolutely.
Then we got Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta interview. We were supposed to get that before they could say a word. Trent steps in, says, I never liked you, Wheeler Yuta, but Chuck and Orange, they trained you. They brought you to AEW. They let you sleep on their couch, and this is how you pay them back by trying to join the Regal Tough Guy Club. I'm done with you. And Wheeler says, hey, I love you all to death, but I never really liked you, Trent, either. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be the best friend I can be. I'm trying to be the best wrestler I can be.
Then he shouldn't have joined the Best Friends. He should have started a new faction called the Best Wrestlers.
Hey, that's a good idea. Best Wrestlers.
Right? Best Wrestlers.
Best Wrestlers.
Wheeler Yuta, Lee Moriarty.
Daniel Garcia.
But he's the Jericho
I mean, he could try to call himself a sports entertainer as many times as he wants to. He's an ill fit for that group.
He needs to get some old school like Zack Ryder-esque gear if he wants to be a sports entertainer.
Yeah.
Can't be wearing that Minoru Suzuki type stuff.
Well, he did have the JAS logo on the back of his trunks.
That's good. That's a start. That's a good start.
Yeah,
So somebody here in chat, Gareth brings up, it's actually AEW Jesus. He goes to a bunch of shows.
Oh.
So maybe it's one of those things where it's like sort of in arena culture, how like everybody kind of knows, oh, he's calling himself the devil. Hey, what do you think about that AEW Jesus? We're all joking around here, Anyways, after that, we had Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal. Hell of a match.
Great match.
Oh, my God. Crowd was super into this, too.
Yeah, they're dueling Jay Lethal and Adam Cole chants throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yes, another match where we could go through the moves, but that would just go watch the match yourself.
Yeah, go do it.
Yeah. So at one point, Redragon comes out and just kind of stands on the ramp for a bit. Mm-hmm. This distracts Jay Lethal, allows Adam Cole to hit a pump kick. Later on, again, Lethal has the advantage, locks on a figure four. Redragon comes down to ringside. Cole gets to the bottom rope. So Cole grabs onto the ring skirt and brings it into the ring. So the ref has to fix all that because that's a hazard, and that allows Redragon to distract Lethal. Cole hit a super kick. He's looking for the boom. Lethal counters with a cutter. Looks for lethal injection. Steady hand springs right into a super kick. The timing Adam Cole has on all these super kick counters off these moves is fantastic. Cole
unreal
follows with Panama Sunrise, gets a 2. He looks for the boom. Lethal ducks that. Rolls up Cole. Redragon gets on the apron. Lethal had Cole rolled up for a good 8 seconds.
Oh, man, it was forever.
It was forever. So he lets go of that, looks for a lethal injection. Right when he lands, Cole hits him with a low blow. Mm-hmm. Boom for the win.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was a hell of a match.
Really
so Cole
match.
Gets on the mic, says, "There is nobody on the planet Earth who deserves the AEW title more than me. Hangman stole his victory at Revolution." He says, 2 of the last 3 matches, I've won. He says, last week when I was pinning Jungle Boy and staring at Paige, he says, I saw fear because he knows I am the man who's going to take his title. I'm a champion. I'm a winner. He says, I bring the fight. And speaking of that, Hangman Page is a coward. He doesn't have the guts to come here and face me man to man. Cue Hangman Page's awesome music. Mm-hmm. He comes down. He gets in. He steps up to Cole and Redragon. Page takes off his title, blasts Cole and his actual belt. His actual belt. So he puts the title down. He takes his belt off, and he starts whipping him with it. And so he starts laying into Kyle O'Reilly, who sort of stays in the ring instead of gets out of it. Cole comes up behind him, low blows him. Hangman collapses. They all take boots to Page. Cole grabs the AEW title. Jurassic Express comes out to make the save, but they're doing the thing where somebody steals the title.
Yep.
Larson. Are you a fan of this kind of trope? We see it every once in a while.
Yeah,
in pro
we
wrestling.
do. The actual trope of stealing the title, I'm fairly indifferent. Is what they do with the belt post theft.
Yeah,
that is going to be interesting or not.
Yeah. Well, speaking of belts. Post-coital belts, perhaps.
Well, first, there was a pretty good Lance Archer, Dustin Rhodes video package.
I had a smooth thing.
I know, but hey, man, we got to get this all in. All right, continue.
I was going to go there. I was going to say Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti had an interview, but first, there was Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes video package. That was really good.
Unfortunately, I'm not a mind reader yet. My apologies.
After that, we had Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti interview. Sammy says, I lost the TNT title 3 weeks ago. He says, but I still have the ring, and when I'm inside of it, I promise to give the fans a show like no one else. He says, I'll do something so crazy it'll make the fans stand up and chant, holy shit. He says, I've heard it before. I've heard before that I can't do this style forever. He says, screw it, it's worth it because of the fans. You got to give something to get something.
Yeah.
And what the fans have given me, everything I wanted in this business until now.
And then Ty takes the mic, says, we want payback. He says that Paige Van Zant is going to get her ass kicked like she did her entire fighting career. And Sammy says they'll take on any 2 members of the whole Men of the Year America Top Team unit. This brings out Dan Lambert and Men of the Year. Lambert talks a bunch, not getting into it because it's not interesting. At the end of which he asks Sky and Paige if they have any interest in a match. They say no. They all start to walk away. And that's when Sammy says to Dan, we live in your head, and if you only knew what Ty and myself did while wearing that belt, then you know that we live in your mouth too.
Well, because Lambert, he says, well, kiss this goodbye.
And he starts kissing it, yeah.
And he kisses it. And then Sammy says, we put our butts on that belt. And now you're kissing my butthole, essentially.
Something along those lines, yes.
And then he had to go and wash his mouth out with soap or something, like A Christmas Story. I don't know what he did.
Don't know either.
Some disinfectant, perhaps.
Perchance got some Lysol.
Yeah. Maybe some Lysol. Yeah, there you go. At least brushed his teeth. After that, we had a Ricky Starks Swerve video package. And then on Rampage, they got a Fatwa title match coming up. So that should be a hell of a match.
I like the idea they're pushing here where Starks and potentially other members of the AEW roster are a bit resentful of new talent coming in.
I know. I like that. I think that's solid. My question to you is, are they just going to get a Swerve loss out of the way here? Because it's a FTW title match. It's Rampage.
Yeah.
Clearly this can go. Hobbs can get in the way. Hook could get in the way. Keith Lee's going to be involved somehow. It's probably going to be an overbooked mess. They don't generally do DQs.
No, I think they've done one.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that doesn't really happen.
They just did their first count out loss. I think the Butcher lost to Darby via count out.
Was that literally the first?
That was last. Yeah, I think that was the last count out loss. That was on Rampage.
Wow.
So what's another way someone could lose? That's not by pin or submission.
A double, a no contest,
Something
double count out.
They don't really do that kind of stuff
like that.
I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm fine if it's a protected loss, which this is going to be.
Yeah.
I guess I'm fine just sort of getting Swerve's first loss out of the way. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. So the meat of this match is going to be really good.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Swerve is a hell of a wrestler.
Yep.
Ricky Starks is great.
Yeah. Then we got Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. I swear half this match happened outside of the ring before the match even began. Because Layla boots Red Velvet off the apron when she's making her entrance. They're brawling ringside a ton. And then Red Velvet hits a run off the ring steps, puts Layla back in the ring. Bell rings, match actually starts. This match was really good.
Yeah, no,
it was really good.
Terrific, yeah.
And in the end, Layla Hirsch, due to a bit of subterfuge on her part, got the win. So she goes to the floor, and you see her doing something back around the hip of her tights. And she goes over the ring and pulls out the turnbuckle. And then she gets in the ring. And I was like, there wasn't a ref bump. Bryce Remsburg's there. He's going to see that you hit Red Velvet with that turnbuckle. You're going to get disqualified. It's all subterfuge. So she's like, hey, I'm going to hit you. Bryce takes it and getting rid of it. She pulls that thing out she got from she had hidden in her tights. Decks Red Velvet with it and covers her to get the win.
It's like that time Sting took off his mask, but he had it was
just a Sting face paint underneath.
It was yeah.
So after the match,
Kevin Nash in the wheelchair. With
that was a good swerve. That was a fantastic.
That's one of my
swerve.
favorite gifts.
Love it.
One of my favorite gifts.
Love it. So after the match, Layla Hirsch hits Red Velvet with some ground and pound, locks on a cross arm breaker. Chris Statlander runs out to make the save.
Yup. After that, we had a Jade Cargill Smart Mark interview. Tony Schiavone. Mark says, we're not here to talk about her next opponent. She wants to talk about what happens after the match. Jade wants to talk about the celebration after she wins. She wants a bunch of, I love your notes here. She wants a bunch of green stuff. She was
listing off a bunch of stuff, and it was all green, like confetti and a bunch of other stuff. And she wanted, what did she say?
The best suit with green trim.
Yes.
And she needs, most important, she seemed to emphasize this, fine exotic dancers.
Yeah, and then even more green stuff. The general thesis was, and she kind of said in passing, kind of under her breath a little bit, I want a better celebration than Thunder Rosa got.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, if they're already building towards that feud.
Yeah. God, you don't think they're going to do title for title at Double or Nothing, do you?
Not that soon, no.
Yeah.
Maybe at all out.
Yeah. Well, that'd be crazy. So, yeah, that was good stuff. And then she tells Tony to cut the shit.
Yeah. After that, we were supposed to have Thunder Rosa's first interview after winning the AEW Women's Championship. She's immediately entered by Vicky Guerrero, and this segment was not good. Not good. It was all a setup for Nyla Rose to lay her out from behind. You get that high of Thunder Rosa winning the title, and I'm cool with Nyla being her first opponent. I think that's going to be a great match. Could be a really good feud. It just, and someone in chat said it before we started. This is like how all a Nyla feud starts. Vicky starts talking to somebody. Nyla attacks him from behind. And it just was not a great segment.
You know, man,
in fact, it was a pretty bad segment.
It kind of speaks to the same thing we've said about Lambert. Ethan Page is a terrific talker. Scorpio Sky is a terrific talker.
Nyla Rose is great on the mic.
Nyla Rose is great on the mic. She's one of the best follows on Twitter.
Absolutely.
She is an incredibly clever person.
Absolutely.
She doesn't need this shit, man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like when you have a combination of her size, her power, and the wit and the mic, why do you need a Vicky Guerrero?
I don't get it. And it also felt like they were rushing through this whole segment because maybe the show was running late or something. I don't know. It just was not. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was a bummer because I think the match is going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the feud will hopefully pick up from here, but this was not a strong way to start it.
Yeah. No, I agree. We had our main event after that. It was John Silver and Alex Reynolds, the Dark Order, versus Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia, Sports Entertainer. Before that, you know, the crowd, they do the singing Jericho song and everything. And Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, got on the mic, says, the crowd doesn't appreciate the fact that Jericho allows them to sing that song. If we're up to Daddy Magic, there'd be no singing, be no song. Then we get the match.
It was a solid bout.
Yeah, it was.
Silver and Reynolds are a fantastic tag team. The way they can put together a lot of offense in like 30 seconds is damn
that
impressive.
Bit where Silver was running around the ring just laying everybody out, doing a bunch of crazy shit.
I love when he does that,
good.
man.
Finished with a splash on Jericho in the middle of the ring.
That was so good. Even that bit where they hit that suicide dive brainbuster combo to the floor on Jericho, and then they get back in the ring and do like an assisted uppercut on Garcia, and you go back to ringside, and Jericho kicks the steps, and you think, oh, he's just angry. But then he does that, and he bumps. And Aubrey turns around and sees Dark Order members, Alan Angels and Ted were there.
10, yeah.
And she's like, did you do this? And they protest. Nonetheless, they get kicked out of ringside.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That was fun. That was
good stuff. It was a really fun match.
It was a fun match. In the end, though, Alex Reynolds is running the ropes. He's in the ring with Garcia. Garcia distracts the ref, and then Jericho hits Reynolds in the back with Floyd the Bat. And Garcia puts on a version of the Scorpion Deathlock to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah. Although we might have to start calling that. If Brett shows up.
The commentary called, during the Dax match, they called it Sharpshooter.
Ooh.
Dax
boy, that's sort of difficult. Like, you know, you got Brett and Sting in the company. Is it like only when Sting does it you call it a deathlock?
Well, Steve, it's not the first time that's happened.
They've never been in the same company before, ever. And the fact that your camera's frozen, I think validates that completely wrong fact. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. I have a thread right here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Got all sorts of bonus content over there. We had an episode of Overrun, our bonus podcast for the week, where we talk about all sorts of stuff. This week we talked about who was the early candidates, who are the early candidates for Wrestler of the Year 2022. It was a pretty fun discussion we had over there, man.
Indeed.
Yeah. Let's see.
Jorge D has a good question. With Bret Hart incoming, which other WCW old men do you want to be incoming, and who will they be paired with? Sid. I don't care who. Sid.
Who? Yeah. Okay. Buff Bagwell.
All right.
I want him to be paired with. Before Austin, did Pillman tag with anybody? Who were the American males? It was Buff and
Scotty Riggs.
Scotty Riggs. There you go. Yeah. I don't know. Scotty Riggs comes in with the Pillmans, I guess.
Oh, all right. All right.
Alive still? I don't know. Anyways, Dave Matushek. No, I'm going to skip that one. Soken Rose says, who is the one wrestler in AEW that you would say is not connecting with the crowd?
The one wrestler in AEW who's not connecting with the crowd. Dan Lambert.
Yeah, it's Lambert, right?
And I guess by proxy, to a degree, that would mean Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
I would say Ethan Page. I think that Scorpio Sky has with the crowd generally speaking. I think he's got a bit more of the benefit of the doubt. I think he's, because he's been around for so long.
Yeah.
Ethan Page, I feel like he's kind of been not used to his potential throughout the entire time.
Yeah. There was a brief little glimpse, I think, of what he can do when he had that little short feud with Darby.
Yeah.
That was good. But we haven't really seen him do much of anything since then.
Yeah. Thomas Dunnigan asks if we agree that Cesaro is perfect for the Blackpool Combat Club.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Samoa Joe.
Why not both?
Because one thing that Samoa Joe brings, same as Mox and Danielson, is his connection with the crowd, is his ability to speak on the mic. They can all hold their own on the mic.
Yeah. Well, you don't want dad jokes in this thing?
Not really. Look, I think there's a place in AEW. I'm just speaking for myself. I know there's probably a lot of people who disagree. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't see Cesaro as being, like, the violent guy anyways. Like, he's not known for that. Like, Mox, Danielson to a degree in WWE, but certainly before WWE.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe, even in WWE, they're all known as, like, violent people.
Yeah.
It fits.
Yeah. Well, if you watch Samoa Joe's match against Jay Briscoe, he's a violent dude too. That's where Jay Briscoe's blood was all coagulating.
That's why I'm saying Samoa Joe would be great.
Yeah, he would be great.
Yeah, just like Cesaro. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
All right, very well, fine.
But Samoa Joe, 100%, 1,00000%.
Yeah, I won't argue with Joe.
Let's see here. Moses opposes with Archer versus Dustin taking place in Dustin's hometown. Is there any chance he actually wins? Yes. I wouldn't.
There's a chance, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put high confidence points on it. Dustin might be the type, though, that says, hey, Tony, I know you like to reward wrestlers being in their hometowns and shit, but let me take the L here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's possible.
They got to build up Archer, and Dustin's a professional, so I could see him saying, hey,
totally.
do this, right?
Totally. It was pretty wild during that video package they ran with them, going back to their previous match, where they had it in the Nightmare Factory training facility.
Yeah.
It was this weird. They were only there for a couple shows. If
they were there for 3 episodes or something
like that. Yeah,
it was nothing. Yeah. No, man, they had to scratch and claw for those episodes every single week.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely. Xavier Gray, will Julia Hart ever get to see with both eyes again?
I mean, Pac did.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. I wonder if hers is going to be revealed to be just like psychological.
Could be.
Yeah. He also asked, who do you think should dethrone Sky as the TNT champion?
Keith Lee.
I'm going to say at what pay-per-view is at Full Gear, November, a man called Sting. Because he's on my predictions, I think, for ending the year as champion.
Wow. I think I have Keith Lee ending my year as TNT champ. So
that is highly likely.
One can hope.
Let's see here. Nicholas Price. I think we answered this question before, but we'll mention it again. So yeah, with them making such a big deal about the 30th win for Jade.
Yeah.
Talking about, of course, looking past their opponent, not caring who it is.
Yeah.
The after party. Any chance there's an upset there?
No, I'd be pretty surprised.
I would put high confidence points on Jade winning that match. Now, she might be surprised by somebody really taking her to her limit.
Mm-hmm. So this could be the story beat where now she's on the verge of winning 30 in the row. Maybe she's, a bit full of hubris at this point.
Yeah.
And she's going to come really darn close to losing. It's going to be that wake-up call for her that she can't let her foot off the gas at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that she's champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miku asks, make a preliminary list of matches you want to see at Double or Nothing. So, Paige and Jericho.
What about Punk versus Cole?
That could be good.
Punk's doing the discount double check. Maybe he says, hey, I want to make sure I can beat the guy who almost beat Hangman Page. Mm-hmm. And him and Cole, that's a dream match right
I want to beat the guy who is first not champion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that'd be good. I guess it'd probably be Thunder Rosa and Nyla Rose then.
Yeah, okay.
Jade versus...
Oh, jeez. Jade versus... I mean, maybe like Britt, if you want to bring some star power to that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or like a debut, like an Athena or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe, yeah.
Jurassic Express, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's time for them to lose the belts.
They need to lose those titles. I kind of want them to lose, like, whatever pay-per-view they do, Hangman versus Adam Cole, they need to lose there.
Ideally, Santana Ortiz, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon.
They need to lose it to Mox and Danielson. I don't think that's going to happen, but this is me booking it. Mox and Danielson, and then Santana Ortiz fights them, and they could lose the title. They can lose their first title. I don't know if this is their first one, but they can lose their first high-profile post-Inner Circle title match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And then on this, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then on night 2 of Double or Nothing, because it's a 2-night affair.
Oh, wow.
Mox wins the AEW title, and Danielson wins the TNT title.
All right.
And then loses it to Sting December 31st.
But then that was earlier in the show. Later in the show, Sting loses to Keith Lee. Keith Lee ends the year TNT champion.
Damn you. You just scooped me. Let's see here. Mayor of Planet Houston with Wardlow seemingly out of AEW storyline-wise. Which faction should hire him to be part of them now? This is one of those things where it's like, hi, Tony, Steve from Wrestle Juice, my partner Larson from Wrestle Farts, and I have a question. Why wouldn't you hire Wardlow? Why didn't you do that?
I know.
Can you buy Wardlow out of his contract?
That being said, put Wardlow in Blackpool Combat Club. He's pretty violent with all those power bombs.
He is pretty violent. Yeah, that's a man who likes violence. That's good, as long as it's not Claudio Cameraman. But Claudio Cameraman, they need to make the AV Club. How about that?
Oh, that's good.
Because he's the cameraman.
He is. Audio Visual Club.
Yeah.
Cameraman Claudio. Cornbread Haas says, with criticism Tony Khan has gotten on his booking of black wrestlers, who do you think will be the first black AEW champion, considering the most over guys are Jay Lethal and Keith Lee, but it doesn't seem like they'll be competing for the title anytime soon. Heck, give Jay the title and do something WWE couldn't even do with China. That would be great.
Dude, what do we say about Tony Khan? He always takes like the good ideas WWE has, and then they don't run with it, and then he runs with it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That being said, I think Keith Lee probably has the best chance, but they have something special with Swerve.
Yeah. Swerve's great.
This is great. We'll end on this one. Actually, we'll do this one first. Did WWE from Nikyle? Did WWE seemingly forget that the Hall of Fame is next Friday? There's only 3 inductees so far.
Yeah. Well, considering it's after SmackDown, they probably want to keep the ceremony short.
Yeah.
And I imagine the first 2 induction speeches are probably going to be pretty quick, and they're going to give Mark Calloway as much time as he wants to talk.
Yeah. And then we'll end on this one. Don Wagner, Patrick Sparks, the B-Man. Who in AEW gives you Von Wagner forgot to wear underwear vibes, and why? QT Marshall. He seems he's a guy, yeah.
Tonight, Sammy Guevara.
Clearly. Yeah. I wonder if he even does. He just wears like gray sweatpants. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll talk a little bit more.
Sure.
Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.